Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. Right, this is the second round draw for the 14th edition of the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. There was 24 of you in the first round last week, and the wheel has cut you decidedly in half. So there's 12 of you left in the game after 1 week. So, just to run through those lucky dozen again, it's Boom Shakalaka, Kinhaga Ruiz, Captain Quebec, Foghorn Sam, Fresno MMA, Mule Floyd, Rigno, Chat, Stephen Terry, with me, your gracious host, Cartera, Trig, and Excon Chris. So that's our there are 12 remaining lucky bastards. And for this week's event, we've got UFC 294, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. And it's it was originally, of course, Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira until Oliveira had to pull out due to that very nasty cut he picks up in sparring. So Volkanovski steps in on short notice, and I'm not really one for coincidences or destiny or fates written in the stars or any kind of astronomical bullshit like that. But it was it was coincidence that about a day or so after the change to Volkanovski was announced, I just came across this when I was clearing through some old junk of mine and came across this relic from earlier in the year. Losing 20 quid bet on Alexander Volkanovski from their first fight earlier in the year. That one I just had Alexander Volkanovski odds at 5-2, and obviously that's a loser. But the more I think about this fight coming up, I'm actually going to stick with that same prediction that I made earlier in the year. Yes, that prediction cost me 20 quid last time around, but I'm going to stick with that. And my main reason for that is because of the short notice change. Um, Islam Makhachev would have been preparing for Charles Oliveira, who's much more of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu threat than Volkanovski is. But Volkanovski is a much more dangerous, well-rounded fighter than Oliveira is. But my reasoning is basically Makhachev would have been gearing his camp more towards defense against Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which, I mean, obviously I'm not questioning his grappling for a second. Obviously that Russian Sambo he's got there and whatever Khabib's doing up with him up in the mountains, but it's a completely different style to the general all-round threat that Volkanovski poses. So I think this is actually a really bad short notice change for Makachev. As for Volkanovski, yes, it is short notice. He hasn't had adequate time to prepare, but at the end of the day, he still said yes to this fight. And he's going to go in there. He wants this fight. He's going to, he's certainly not going to be lacking motivation. So I think that might just be enough to sway it this time. That might just give him the edge to overturn that decision. It's not that it was controversial in any way last time. It was close, but Makachev clearly won that first fight, despite what my 20 quid would say. But I think that this time it is actually going to be different. So, Volkanovski, most likely by a decision. I can't really see him finishing Makachev on short notice. So Volkanovski for the decision there. That's my official prediction. As for the second fight, I won't go into as much detail, but again, was Paulo Costa versus Hamzat Chimaev. Now Kamaru Usman versus Hamzat Chimaev. I've gone with Chimaev for a decision there. So Anyway, enough of my nonsensical rambling. Let's get on with the draw. First to face the wheel is Boom Shakalaka. Did I change the screen there? Yes, I did. Just checking. Okay, so here we go. Boom Shakalaka to take on the wheel. And he gets drawn with Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood for Boom Shakalaka there. And let's see what I got for Nathaniel Wood. Yeah, I've got him to win a decision against Mohammed Naimov. Should be, I'd say, a fairly straightforward decision there. Should be, yeah, it's not a lock, but it's better. It's a lot better than it could have been. So, next is Kenhager Ariz. And he's going to have Bruno Silva in excuse me, Bruno Silva in his corner tomorrow night. Honestly, that's one of the ones I am least confident on the whole card. I've got I'm gonna fuck this name up. Sharabutin Magomedov to win by second round knockout. That's so yeah, I'm not confident in that one. Sorry, Kenhager Ariz, but best of luck with that one. Think you're gonna need it. Captain Quebec up next. He gets Cedricus Dumas. Cedricus Dumas for Captain Quebec. And I've got Dumas to win my first round submission against Abu Azitar. So again, that's quite a good one. I'm fairly confident in his chances of progressing. Foghorn Sam is up next to take on the wheel. Who's going to be in Foghorn Sam's corner? Javid Basharat. Javid Basharat for Foghorn Sam there. Got him to win a decision against Victor Henry. Again, fairly run of the mill. Nothing too exciting about that win, but it should be. I am fairly confident on that one compared to some of the other decisions I've done on here. So again, that's quite a good pick there, in my opinion. Fresno MMA is going to face the wheel next. Fresno MMA is going to be rooting for Abu Azatar. Abu Azatar. I've probably not spelled that right, but yeah. So I've as usual. This is probably going to be one of the cards I will fuck up quite a lot of the names on because they're quite a lot of sort of Eastern European, Russian-esque. I'm not sure exactly what the term for them for that is, but historically I have struggled with those names. But anyway, as mentioned earlier, I've got Abu Azatar to lose first round submission to Cedricus Dumas. So there's a head to head between Fresno MMA and Captain Quebec anyway. So it's a bit of one-on-one action to look forward to tomorrow night. Mule Floyd up next. Mule Floyd is going to be hoping that one of the co-main events underdogs, Kamaru Usman, can pull off the win. Kamaru Usman. And as stated, I've got Hamzat Chimaev to win a decision there, but Usman, he was the dominant welterweight champion for a long time, and it's going to be interesting to see what middleweight Kamaru Usman looks like, what this new chapter looks like for him if he chooses to stay up in the middleweight division. But I don't know, maybe middleweight Usman's a much different beast, which is going to be terrifying given how much of a beast he was at welterweight for so many years. But Mule Floyd is going to be rooting for Kamaru Usman. See if he can pull off the upset, be the first to properly derail the Khamzat Chimaev hype train. And next is Rigno. He gets Anshul Jubli for Rigno there. So again, I've got him to win by first round knockout actually against Mike Breeden as again one of the ones I'm more confident on. He's undefeated. I think it's 9 or 10 to 0, 9 or 10-0. I think his record is off the top of my head. Whereas Michael Breeden he's a solid fighter, but he's not. This looks like a typical feeding the prospect to the veteran kind of fight, really. So that is one of the ones I'd say is a lock in my opinion. Particularly because yeah, like I say, is undefeated. That's exactly the sort of fighter the UFC would want to promote. So, yep, I think that's Rigno's going to be through in the next round. I think that's almost certain. So, let's see if Shat can get as lucky a draw. In Shat's corner tomorrow night is Sharabuddin Magomedov. I'm not going to spell that right. Sharabuddin Magomedov. Yeah. Let's see. It's yeah. Let's try to spell that one correctly. But yeah, as mentioned earlier, that's one of the ones I'm more confident on. Coming up against Canhego Ariz and Bruno Silva. So another one, 2 locks in a row there, I'd say, for the wheel. So Shat can count his lucky stars. And me up next, Stephen Terry's not going to give 3 locks in a row, is it? I just know this is going to be peak for me, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's Tim Elliott. No, that's not good for me. Tim Elliott. Okay, you see he's fighting Mohammed Makayev, who is, in my opinion, the British prospect to watch right now. Forget about Paddy the Baddie Pimblett or any of that malarkey. Just yeah, he's the one you need to be keeping an eye on. He's tearing through the regionals, got off to a great start to his UFC career. A lot of submission wins. This time, I think Tim Elliott's going to be tough enough, or at least his jiu-jitsu defense is going to be good enough to withstand most of that attacks, but is still going to lose that fight. If not by submission, then by decision, one way or another. So yeah, that's probably second to Bruno Silva is one of the ones I'm least confident on. So I think I'm going to be leaving the competition here. Right, 3 left. Tartara up next. Let's see who's Tartara going to be rooting for. He also gets Sharabuddin Magomedov. Sharabuddin Magomedov. So that's yeah, like I say, as I said, fairly confident on him. That's a lock, just like Shat's one. So that's Tartara and Shat going up against Canhego Ariz. So that's yes, Very good selection there, in my opinion, for Tartara. Trig up next to face the wheel. Trig is going to be hoping that Victoria Dudakova can get the win. Victoria Dudakova. So that's yeah, I've got her to win a decision there. So you never can tell with women's MMA, and not being funny, but it is way more unpredictable than the men's MMA. So women's MMA is always a bit of a toying cost, but I have got her to win a decision. On paper, looks like she should win a decision. Never can tell though. But best of luck to him. And now finally, ex-con Chris. Let's see who he's going to be drawn with. Ex-con Chris is going to be siding with Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott. So yeah, I think me and ex-con Chris will be leaving this competition hand in hand. As I said, I'm fully expecting Tim Elliott basically just to get ragdolled by Muhammad Makayev. Or if not ragdolled, at least be taught a lesson or so. So that concludes the draw for the second round of the Tapology Lucky Bastard game. I'll just switch back to the Excel sheet and run over those pairings one more time. We have Boom Shakalaka with Nathaniel Wood, Canhego Ruiz with Bruno Silva, Captain Quebec with Enriquez Dumas, Foghorn Sam gets paired with Javid Basharat, Fresno MMA with Abdu Azatar, Mule Floyd with former welterweight King Kamaru Usman, Rigno gets Anshul Jibli, Shat gets Sharabutkin Magomedov, I get Tim Elliott along with ex-con Chris as well. Tartara also gets Sharabutkin Magomedov, and Trig gets Victoria Dudakova, and yeah, Tim Elliott for ex-con Chris as just mentioned. So that's it for the Tapology Lucky Bastard game second round. Good luck with those picks. Bit of a mixed bag, but it always is with the wheel. If you've got bets on this card, which ironically I don't actually have any bets on this card this time around, so maybe that's going to be the main thing that makes Volkanovski win, me not having money on him. But if you do or have money on him or any other fighters, then good luck with that, or at least better luck than I had about 9 months ago. And yeah, until next time, so long for now.